I am going to recording this podcast because of that I received money from someone, and I am not a church. I am a woman that have been obeying God because God have chosen me, and I don't have any real church behind me. I am in the Mormon church, but they are scared of me because they don't understand what's going on with me and in heaven afterlife, and because it's no one that have this gift as I have, and in the Mormon church is it LDS church. I say the old name of the church because it's easier to say, because I have this a little dyslexis, so I can turn around those letters to be drag letter. So I prefer to say Mormon church, but we should not say it. But I say that anyway. It doesn't matter for me, as I have no connection with the church, with the Mormon church. They don't want to see me, but they need all the members they can get, because here in Sweden, in Helsingborg, we have a church here, but it is maybe 20 active members, and I am not active either. So they need people, so they don't kick me out as they maybe should do in big churches with many members. I don't know, but I know because he that baptized me, he have told me that people have fear for me. The fear is because they don't understand, and they have not so close connection with God, so they don't understand it. They go for what Joseph Smith say, and he the Birmingham, I don't know the name, but all those prophets they call the highest leader in the Mormon church, and all are men, and there is no women that can be prophets for the Mormon church. So they, of course, they don't understand me. I understand them. I know where they're coming from, because God have shown me that. Heaven have shown me. Those my relatives and sisters in the afterlife have shown me that the Mormon church, because many of them have been members of the church when they lived here on earth. So they wanted me to see it, that they is coming from Jewish people that doesn't want to be in that tradition of Jewish, and try to find their own way to do it, and then they was pioneers for the Mormon church, and that's what God have shown me, and it's not someone else that have done that. It's the afterlife, the life that have showing me this and teach me this, and I found it out in magazines, old books, and then I was to Salt Lake City, and I was to the Pioneers Museum and find out. I asked to could read some papers there in the Pioneers Museum of the ancestors that I have find out in that time, and I got some papers, and it told me about how they come to the Mormon church and started it. I was first to a factory for the Mormon members, that they get food from the factory. Those that live in Salt Lake City, around Salt Lake City in USA. It's not here. We don't get such things. And I was to that factory, and that flour to make bread for these members. Those that started it was ancestors to me, and they live in England, because most of my ancestors coming from UK, what it was in that time, and they met this Brigham Young in England. He was there to find more members to grow the church, and then he met them. And my ancestor, to tell a short story, was that they were scared. They have a bakery in England, and they did this flour. They have a meal to do this, to bake everything, and his wife, the bakery, his wife was pregnant, and someone come up to them and had a knife and say he should cut out the baby in the mother's womb and kill. And they were threatened because people was angry because they joined Brigham Young, and so they couldn't stay in England because of the hate there was. So they follow the Brigham the prophet to United States, to Salt Lake City, and then they built up a bakery there. And so I was there and saw it, but I didn't know it before. I was to the Pioneer Museum after I had been to the factory, and then I saw this, that it was my ancestor that come, and the baby that should be killed, he was born on that ship that took them to America. So I it I don't remember now. I go far away in my story, but now I know what I was on my way to say. That someone have sent me money, and I'm very thankful for that. I really need it because of that I hear from heaven that I should take the flight to Ireland and to Dublin. I don't know if it's Dublin, but Ireland. And but Dublin is what I think about just now. But I maybe get another message where I should go. But I know Ireland because what I have told already that many is coming from Ireland of our ancestors, and I have been to Scotland, so and England, so I suppose I will take the flight to those other that countries that is in UK, that is from my ancestor that they have lived there. So it maybe be Wales next time. So I have not been so much into to fly to England because I have been twice in England, and then I was not thinking to go to that place more than after I have got my DNA and find out that no, it was not after the DNA, it was that someone was told me that I have been a druid in Ireland, and in that way I have taken contact with a druid temple that exists, a little exists today, and say that I will be in Ireland, and that I have heard from those in afterlife that I have been druid. In this woman say that I had been druid in year 600, and then I find out yesterday when I look for if there is druids still today, and then I find the history of druid that they the Catholic Church they like killed that druid temple members in a way to talk bad about them, like people do with me today here in Sweden and in Norway. Those that can speak and understand Swedish, they hear from other church members, not the Mormon church, but from other free church and Lutheran church and those churches that is here in Scandinavia that can speak Swedish. Some people speak Swedish in Finland also, and Denmark, Norway, Iceland, those countries around us. So they have talking bad about me, and it's be like connected to the druids people that is the same going on. It's the same. Is this? It's what's going on with Jesus also, that they talking behind his back, talking bad about him, and that was not ordinary people that was talking. It was church leaders, leaders for the Jewish people and all those churches people. It's that I have found out very, very early in my walking under heaven, that it's not ordinary people. Ordinary people is many times very nice people, but you expect people to be kindly helpful when it comes to church leaders, those leaders for tradition or religion, to be kindly. But then is it unexpected that they are the worst of everyone. There is a real evil in the group of ordinary people also, but that you have not expect any kindness of that group. It's you expect them to be normal people like that, and then you find out that they are evil, but you don't expect them to be special good, but only nice people. So that be like a shock to find out how evil those church and traditional groups are. And that's what people find out today, that they don't get any help from the church if they don't give the church many things. And I was talking because I have my helper here yesterday, and we were talking about these things, that he say, oh, that was very kindly of that person to send you money. And I say, yes, it was nice because he or she could have decided to not send the money to me, and I need the money. And because heaven want me to visit Dublin, visit Ireland, and it's very expensive at the hotels. But I say that was not 100% kindly to send me money, because she or he wanted something from me. And it was because he or she, I don't have any name, so I can't say what gender it is on that person. And it doesn't matter, because what I'm going to tell you, it is very kindly to send me money, because they don't need to do it. And then in the same time is it that I must do, they want me to do a work for them. And I have told you many times that I don't prayer for any person. I can pray for a whole group of people and for a country like that, but I don't do it private prayer because I expect you to have this connection with God and not let another person do the work that you should do. I understand that you are praying to God, but you don't get the result that you want the result to be. And that I have also told you that God maybe have helped you, but you have not seen it because it's come in another form. You want this new car from God, and because your car is so bad that you have. But it can be that you got another car that is not new, but it's what you can drive with it. It's good car, but it's not what you expect God to give you. So you don't see it. You say it's something I have only temporary, and God will give me that new electric car or what it is. So that is something that is very wrong. You don't understand it. It's not what in your will. When you pray and God give you, that is what God see that you need to get, not what you want to get. But God can help you, but He give you what you need to get. You don't need a new car if there is a good older car that you can get instead. It's to drive between two places, and if it can do that, even if it's look terrible in your eyes, that's what God have given you. And but this was about sin, asking me to in some way to forgive for sin, and it I have when I was here in Sweden, we don't there is not so much Catholic people. It's people that coming from other countries and live here in Sweden that go to the Catholic Church because we are Lutheran here in Sweden. But when I lived in Texas, when I was married in Texas, I was drinking alcoholic, and my husband wanted to go to the bar every day, and I was selling websites. I was web designer, so I got very much money that he could spend in the bar. So he wanted to sit in the bar every day and talking to his friends there. And sometimes when I needed to relax, I go with him to the bar and was drinking Captain Morgan and a Coke, because you could in that bar you could buy you could have with you alcoholic, but you need to buy something in the bar. So that was the Coke to mix in Captain Morgan and whiskey, I think. I don't know today what it is, but I know the name. And so I did it. And there come Catholic people that was in the church, member of the Catholic Church. And they were talking sometimes that they have been so very drunk and the police have taken them and they have undressed them, been nude. And here in Sweden is it not. The police doesn't take you to walking around nude. They maybe stop and tell you to dress you and send you home to dress you. But in Texas, there was instantly go in jail when be nude, and like that. And they told me, and I was not. It doesn't matter for me, because I didn't knew God in that time, or else I should not have been in the bar. I was like everyone else in that way. And they told me, I was to the church, they say to me, and then I go to the priest, and I don't know, maybe is to say confess for the priest, sitting in those small, like a drawer, robes. I have been into some Catholic church as a tourist, and they sit in there and confess their sin for the priest, and then they go out, and then next evening they go to the bar again and drinking, be very drunk, and go to the jail again, maybe, and then they go and confess, and so they do in the Catholic Church. It's only a Catholic Church that do that. In the Mormon Church, I think it's to, if you have been very bad, you need to be baptized once again. And that should be very bad for me, because I'm so scared to be under the water. So, and if they should tell me to do that because I have done something wrong, I should leave the church in that way. So it is not here on earth we can confess our sin. We can't confess to another person. The priest that sit there and hear your story, what you have done that you think is bad to do, he is not more than an ordinary person. He have a title that another man have told him that he should have. It's not God that have told them. And so I have this title to be ordained pastor, but I never use it because that's a man-made thing. God maybe have told this man, this bishop, to ordain me to be this pastor. But it's I don't go for a title. It's my childhood that have make me not like any titles, because my father have a nice title to be a manager for insurance company, and we called the police on him when he was very drunk and aggressive, and the police come, but he then in the police car he showing his business card that he was a manager, and then they let him go, and then he come back home, and then he have been to a bar before he coming home, so he was even more drunk when he come home to his children. So for me, was it title doesn't mean anything. It means a key to lock up, open up everything, because my father didn't go to jail. The police let him out on the street so he could go to the bar and drinking more. And so for me as a child, was it ridiculous to have a title? It was nothing. And I have millionaires as family members. I had one aunt that is in the church where royal people are laying, and she is there because she was so very, very rich in money, and I saw how bad she was when she was drunk in these parties, and then it means nothing, her money, her title, or what she had when she acting like she did when she was drunk. I saw that as a child, and so for me, it's the title is man-made. It's nothing, and if not God is telling that a person should do, order God tell something about that a person, but if God is telling the title of someone, he do that, but not you should be a pastor. He say that you should be a man or a woman for me. He's telling. He don't tell the title. He say that you are going to work for me, like he did to me in year 2000. That when I come in, I didn't know in your year 2000, but in 2018 I was in hypnosis, a real man that did the hypnosis. He could do it, and I wanted it to be real. I didn't know what it was, but I was hoping it should give me an answer, and I got the answer that I know what happened in year 2000 that I didn't have a memory of, but in hypnosis I got the memory back, and then I was with 6 higher priests, took me into this cave, like in a white cloud I was walking in, and then I come into the throne room of God, and God was sitting on the throne. And I know I know today that what I saw, it is not what I saw, because it's a symbolic things. It's showing me so I should understand it. But what was in that cave, or if it was a cave, that I know today that it was showing me in that way so I could understand. I know that when they coming here and I see how they look like, that is not real. It's the real is that I can understand who they are, where they're coming from what I have experienced here on earth. I know that how Jesus looked like in the pictures that is painted from people that have never seen Jesus, but they have done a picture of Jesus. And those actors that have playing Jesus in the movies, but Jesus could have looked very different. But in that way we have experienced the picture of Jesus. That means that we understand what God talking about, what heaven talking about, because we see the picture that had been showing us here on earth. It's not what's in heaven. That can be total different. But it doesn't matter how they look like. It's the meaning, how we understand it. And that have been given to me. And in this hypnosis, God, like, he looked like this man, but he maybe not look at all. But I got that picture, that he bowed down from his throne, and then he placed this stick that the royals, the king, have, and he placed it on my shoulder. And I think he took it on my head also. 3 on left shoulder and right shoulder and head. And that's the symbolic he's showing me. But he was higher up. The head is higher up than the shoulder. So you understand that there is only one God. Those two is other, like higher priest for him. And it's a hierarchy in heaven. And he pointed out me to be one of his tools to reach the world. And so it's not, God never say that you should be a pastor, you should be a bishop, you should be a man, you should be a woman. Here pointing out what God have told me. He say that I was his most loved person in maybe this generation, but he say that to me, that I was the most loved person for him. It's not all time, that I don't think, but in this generation I was born in, we that live here now, that I am the highest. But God is highest, but he is the most. I am his most loved one. So when you do this, you send me money, and then you send a message that you had make a sin. That don't mean that I should talk to God about it. It's a spirit here now touching me. But so this spirit is something he wants to tell you that is for you that send me money, that you should hear here this, that I am not going to say, God, can you forgive he or she what the sin is have been done. That I should not do, because I know, I have now know it for many years. As soon as I read that that you have sin, and then you send me money, those things is two parts. The money means nothing more than to help me to come to Ireland, and or what God want me to do. But that was an answer for me, that God want me to take a flight to Ireland. That what is your money was confirm that God want me to come to Ireland. But you didn't know that, because that money come before I was talking about Ireland in my podcast. So you couldn't know that. But that was the same thing like Israel, that I got money sent to me. And that means that God want me to do this. That was from God. I felt, I didn't heard, but I feel it. This with to do some work for God, and there's something work I should do in Ireland for Him, and He make you send money. So that is one part of it, and it's not to give me money for me to talk to God about you. Is it? It isn't. But when I read it with my eyes, and the eyes that I have is from God's eyes. I have a earthly eyes, but I have a spirit eyes that is connected with God. So when I read what you write to me, God read it. And so I don't need to talk to God about to forgive you for the sin, because it's not me as a human to could say that God forgive you. That person that you go to for confess your sin in the Catholic Church, he have not the power to help you. He can help you psychology in a mental issues with that problem, because you can get the relief to talk to him. But he have not the connection with God. And I don't have that connection. I have not that power to help you in that way. But as I am one with God, God also read what you tell him. You tell me in the message. That was what you were thinking. But in reality, is it that God, he read it in the same time I read it? It's same with the ears, because that's ears I have is a spirit ears also, as I can hear the spirits talking. And that is, if I hear something in a way that should come to the spirit world, the spirit, my spirit ears hear it, and God hear it, because we have the same ears, we have the same eyes, and so you need to understand this. No man here on earth can forgive your sin. It's from the afterlife, those that is in the light, in the afterlife, in not in the darkness. Those that is in the light, those is the only one that can ask God, what should we do? Should we forgive this person? So no one here on earth can help you in that way. You need could help you, really help you, is to build a stronger and closer connection with God and the afterlife. That's what you need to do, and you do it by listen to my podcast, because the Spirit is here, and they say I feel almost like I lost my voice now. They have taken my tongue now. So they tell you this, that the most important is to build the connection with heaven, with God, with those that is in the afterlife, not those that is here on earth, because that's only a temporary time they are here, people, and there is no one that have this power to forgive your sin if they don't have any connection with heaven. And I tell you, I am not in a church or tradition. I am on my own with God and afterlife, heaven, and we are one in that way. So they see and hear everything that I do and what I get from you, and it helped a little to help me with the money, because I on my way to have trouble with my teeth now. It's start to go away, and I don't want to be without teeth. If I should work for God, I need to have. No one want to listen at someone that have 3 teeth in the mouth. So it need to be look okay on the outside. And but only this, I got question why I am sick, and that have it's heaven can only help me to not die. I have been very close to die many times, but they have hold me. so I don't die. But they don't do anything for me to be hurt or suffering. That I need to do. That's belong to the earth. But to get help with these issues I have with the body, I have with earth to do, and not the spirit world to do. You have to understand this difference between earth and heaven, and the help we get. And this is my suffering and pain, and be almost my whole body is destroyed now inside. It look okay on the outside, but inside is really trash. And that have me with people to do, to make action. And that's why it was one of the reasons why I was to Jerusalem, to ask for help, to help me to get a more healthy body. But they didn't wanted to help me. No one wanted to help me in Jerusalem. So what will happen to Israel now? It's because of the people, that they don't do what they should do, to be thinking that they are the people that God have chosen, the chosen people. They are not chosen because they don't do what they should do. So that I tell you, this was not. There was someone that wanted me to say this. They say this, people that was not in a Jewish tradition. And when I was in Jerusalem, they say, I'm looking for a rabbi. And then I say the name. And they say to me, many say that, oh, I don't know who that rabbi are. They say to me, and it was men I asked, and they were Jewish. They have these clothes, and they say, we don't know who is the rabbi you're talking about. There is so many rabbis. All men will, if they have this desire, they will be a rabbi. So that's a way to get a favor in Israel, to be rabbi. I saw how they give them money, and they could get, if they sit and eat, the rabbi come in, and then they give the plate to the rabbi to eat. So that's his many benefits here on earth, but it have nothing with God to do. So that what I saw the last time I was in Israel, I saw it, and that opened up my eyes any more, because what's going on, it's about money, everything. It's maybe a little about the title, but they get so much money, and they got food is money also. They got food to eat, everything, because they were the title rabbi. So everyone wanted to be that was a little smart, people that was intelligent. If they go for lies, they could make themselves to be rabbi. And that's not God's people doing that kind of things, because God have not ordained them. It's people, other men that have ordained them, family members that have ordained them. Many in the church, they are family members or become friends with pastors, and then they got the pastor title from them. It's a lie. It's like those lies God have make me could see. So you know that it's not something I do. I do for you to be forgiven your sin. It's afterlife and God that see what you have written. That's so I can't decide if your sin is forgiven you, because I don't know you, and I don't know in the future, but they know the future. So if they see the future of you, that you will only do what my friends in Texas did, they start to drink again and be stupid and go into the police, and then they go and confess in the church. It was going on like a necklace around your neck that you can pray to, those pearls or what you have. That means nothing if you don't do it, if you don't hold it. And you can't only confess and do it on and on and on and on the same sin. You need to decide you to never do it again. You can't clean you up and then do sin again. That doesn't work in that way. And they know that in afterlife, that when they read what you wrote me and then you do it again, they know it already. So they can't give you forgiveness if they see that in the future that you will not be clean from it. So it's not me, because I have told you, I can't see the future. If they don't tell me from the spirits about the future, but in myself I can't see the future. So I hope you understand this. It's good that you help me. That can make some kind of forgiveness, because you do help me to do the will of God. That can help you, but you can't pay about to take away your sin. That is another story. It's another part of it. But it can be this, that they can help you if you in some way, I don't know your mind, if they don't show me the spirits, I don't know your mind, but if in some way after a while you have send me money, and then you feel that you start to be guilty when you do sin, that they can do now to you, that you more and more feel guilty when you send me money, and then you feel I feel guilt to make sin, and it doesn't help to confess to me. You have to confess to God, an afterlife, and in that way also come closer to afterlife, to God. So thank you for listening. It was much going on in this episode that I didn't know. I thought it should be 10 minutes maybe. But it was what heaven wanted to tell you. So thank you and God bless you.